Okie dokie. So we're looking at the value ladder now, and the whole purpose of the value ladder is to get your prospects to get to know, like, and trust you, and not have them have to delve into a substantial investment with you until they know they're going to receive value from yourself. There's a lot of people out there doing the wrong things, and there's a lot of options. So the value ladder is an opportunity for you to allow them to take baby steps. The ultimate goal with the value ladder and what we want to do for you at the front end of your funnel is make sure that anytime you get on a phone and high ticket for your high ticket offers, which is your consulting and coaching engagement, um, is that you've broken even on that prospect, hopefully every single time before you even get on a call with them. So ultimately, at the front end of the funnel, again, we're going to have evergreen course material where you're providing them with value. And ultimately, through the analytics and with your funnel, we'll have a reverse engineering of the conversions that you're achieving with the amount of prospects are landing on that sales page to then how many are actually purchasing. And then you'll have potentially an order form bump, which I'll show you in a second, another offer, which typically under $200 you'll be able to have at the front end, all automated without having to talk to your prospects. Now, if you can get that break-even point at the front end, everything up the top here, any continuity, which is subscription-based revenue, if you want to do a subscription and do weekly calls and stuff like that, high ticket, and any other offers that you potentially have. So moving into the value ladder, ultimately you'll have lead magnets and something you'll offer for free. Our suggestion is you'll have at the core of that a free members area where regardless of any campaigns you do with lead magnets, they'll go into that free members area to access them. And you'll have other indoctrination and value that you provide that clients with a view to get them into your front end offers, which is again around that, up to around $200, and then so on and so on, leading up to your high value. So at this point here, you should be able to do it all automated, be breaking even and everything into the middle end of your and the back end of your funnel. And any continuity subscription revenue, again, is 100% profit going back to that break even. So what we want to do is just give you an example of how that might look. Again, free access leading into like a low ticket. Now, when we start to look at the agenda that you're going to create for it, it's the process that you take your client through to give them that desired result. Now, obviously, some clients will vary depending on who you are serving. But if you could try and find a niche down sort of scenario and get a universal system in place that, even if you have to vary some of the content within that process, you should be able to still get a fairly universal agenda, which we'll talk about later in the program. But when you have that, you have like a blueprint that you can create, which is literally going through and you're giving step-by-step instructions of how the process works, and they can go ahead and do it, and they can go ahead and do it themselves. They can either find someone else to do it, or you've delivered them already the blueprint of how to do it. There's a very good chance they're going to want to do it for you with your next offer. This order form bump here could potentially be like a 30-minute or an hour strategy call with them potentially, or any other thing that you can provide with value. We'll start to get some intel and work out what's going to be best to put in that order form bump and let you know as we progress and add to this content. From after that purchase, their credit card is in the system now. If you're using ClickFunnels, they're able to proceed forward to this next page, which ultimately is going to be anywhere from, could be $50 even, $50 to $200. But it's a foundational course, which is, again, automatic revenue. It's a course that's at the front end of things, so you're not having to spend time for money to exchange that. And again, their credit card's in, they can literally one click on the page and purchase your offer that you're making. You'll be re-emphasizing that they've got everything they need in that blueprint and everything to go and follow that system and then ultimately get the desired result. But this is going to save them time, money, and energy. That's typically what you want to be doing at every stage of this value ladder. You could as well, for the next stage of things, we have a funnel I'll show you shortly and give you an example of how this looks. You could set up the same thing, credit cards in, click the button here to get a Rolls Royce thing. Could be a one-on-one type service, an engagement could be done for you. Ultimately, they could put their credit card in and not be charged for 7 days. And within that 7 days onboarding process, you get on the phone to them and make sure that they're satisfied, they're a suitable customer for you, and that you can give them the desired result that you're promising. Ultimately, before that on this page, if you can imagine there being a page there, they would have seen like a perfect awake session, which really gives them an understanding before they go ahead and click that button. So ultimately, they come through and everything in this front-end funnel is going to go into that members area. And throughout that, because you don't want to overload, like those 3 offers are enough. That's a good flow at the front end. And then it's going into the next stages. Once they're in the members area, which if I show you just quickly what that sort of looks like, like they could come into like a members area. This is all that front end we just talked about. Then this auto webinar could be the perfect awake session to get them to, again, engage in that invisible funnel or just purchase outright if you want to set it up that way. Typically, you want to get on the phone and make sure, again, to ask the questions you need to ask, which we'll talk about in the next module. But throughout that process, once they've done that course, or even if they skip to this point for like a done for you or a engagement on coaching or consulting, there's all these email follow-ups and templates that you're actually going to receive. If you're in the full program, these templates are done for you. You've typically just got to put your logo, your color codes, and your details on there and link it all up, and bada boom, bada bing. So that sort of explains the flow. And again, that front end funnel with the value ladder we want to automate so you can have a bit of healthy arrogance by the time you get to a point of talking to high ticket prospects, where you've got plenty of prospects there to deal with. They either want to move and innovate their business or they don't. And they can come back when they're ready if they're not ready, because you can go and talk to the next person. That's the whole idea of having that break-even offer and the value ladder. Just how it looks. This is our leads machine blueprint. If you are in the premium sales machine, then you've got access to this. If you are not, then you should definitely have a look at the $7 blueprint that's on this page. If you're on Facebook for free leads, that's the principle I showed you before with the blueprint. It tells you exactly how to do that, but then you got to go and do it. Spend time doing it. But with the masterclass that we offer, which is $200, and we have a viral post template on that order form bump, by the way, so it's another value add. On this page, it's $200. They get all the video tutorials, a lot of templates and resources, email follow-up, chatbot type of stuff, which is saving you time, money, and energy to get that desired result of free leads and sales from Facebook. And then the last option we offer them is a done-for-you service, where you re-emphasize you made a great decision, you've got everything you need, you've just saved yourself that time, money, and energy. But if you want to stay focused on your business, we can do that for you. So hopefully that gives you a really good understanding of the value ladder. Well, we might add some things to this, but that's the basic concept, where, again, getting to know, like, and trust you. At each stage of that value ladder, you don't be afraid to provide a lot of front-end value. Have ultimately extremely satisfied customers that are going to give you testimonial, social proof, and fill that funnel up for your high-ticket offers. We'll see you on the next step. Thank you very much.